I'm just gonna put it out there now. So the next time I don't know if she forgot or something, but it was last minute. I said no. And I was like, either she's gonna hate me or she's gonna learn my boundaries.
Yeah.
And she doesn't hate me. We're still friends. She knows my boundaries, and we still talk about it. She'll ask me in advance and be like, "I'm giving you 2 days notice. Hopefully that's okay." And I'm like, "Yes, it's perfectly fine. I have no problem doing something
Yeah.
for my friend." Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Growth Log mini podcast.
Mhm.
I'm Davia.
And I'm Billionaire Barrett.
And yeah, we are going to pick our question for this week out of the hat. But it's not my turn, it's Billionaire Barrett. So here you are.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see, right? Drum roll. And let's choose question. Let's see
Right.
what we have today, right? So today, see it? What's it say?
Oh, you got to read it. There's no way I can read that
There's
right
no
now.
way. There's no way. All right.
The
I know
importance of saying
the importance of saying no
why it is so hard.
and why is it so hard. Yeah. The importance of saying no and why is it so
Uh,
hard.
okay, the importance of saying no. I was just thought it was the importance of saying why it's so hard. I missed a whole word. Okay, the importance of saying no. Wow, yeah, this is a great one. Yeah, comment down below before we start talking.
Yeah.
What is the importance of saying no? Why is it so hard? Like, why do we struggle to say no to people sometimes? So, what do you think? Billionaire Barrett.
All right. So I think sometimes just being a people pleaser or wanting to please people,
Mm-hmm.
we find it very difficult to really say no. Even though sometimes we really and truly need to say no, but just trying to be in that pleasing mode where, like, yes, I can, even though we need to say no. And I think that's why it's really so hard to just say no.
Yeah, yeah. Being a people pleaser definitely is something, I don't know, I feel like as a society we've created this whole culture around people pleasing. If you think about like social media, it's kind of like you're creating content that you think people will want to see. So it's like you are tailoring what the appearance of your life looks like towards pleasing other people. Like it's crazy how when you really think about it, it's kind of like what we live by in a way today in today's society. I also feel like it could be a little bit of fear of rejection, like especially if you really like people, like you really like this group of friends and you want to like impress them, you want them to like you, then it might be hard for you to say no to going to a party that you don't want to go to, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like to do an activity that they all want to do, like they all want to go skiing and you hate the cold. This is
Yeah.
me. But it's hard for you to say no because you're like, I want them to like me and to accept me, but I don't want to do that. So I feel like part of it is society, and part of it is that fear of like being rejected.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree. Yeah. That thing is very important, because no one, I think, really want to feel rejected, you know. But I guess on the flip side, just knowing that we are going to get rejected, it's a part of life. At some point in time, you're going to get rejected. So it really comes down to you really thinking and say, if I say no and I get rejected, is it the end of the world?
Right.
Is it the end of the world? So, and I'm talking about myself. Sometimes I know I need to say no with many things, but I just say yes. Sometimes I don't have the time to do certain things, right? But someone
Mhm.
will call me like, Manzo, can you do this? And I know I'm supposed to say no, and I'm like, I try to let it work, and like I really and truly put myself under undue stress, and in my mind, I'm saying it's working because I find the time to get it done. But in reality, I took my energy from what I was focusing on to really go and to say, please someone because you don't want to be rejected or you really want to please someone. And I go back to you where you say with society. Society is really what carves us to be like this, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as you were explaining, I even had a thought about like my past work, as a retired hairdresser.
Mhm.
It was very hard for me to say no to appointments especially when it was one of my regulars, like one of my regular clients.
Yeah.
If they would hit me up at the last minute, like, please, it's an emergency, I have an event to go to, even if I was swamped, like there was no way I would just say yes anyways and make it work, which would put a lot of stress on me. I wouldn't eat my lunch because I didn't have time. You know what I mean? I would be working longer hours than I planned to and not getting enough rest. And
Uh,
it's like not setting that boundary for yourself when sometimes like that is what the importance of saying no is creating boundaries.
country. I agree.
Yeah. Like you like you said, you take that energy and time away from what you truly want to do and
Yeah.
end up, doing something else. Like it's an act of self-love when you set these boundaries because you're like, I'm going to put whatever I want to do first. And then if I have time for other things, then okay, maybe. But if it's not going to happen, like today, I had this scheduled and somebody wanted to meet for coffee. Sorry, I can't. I'm busy. Like,
Yeah.
this is for me. This is something that I want to do. So, yeah, setting that time aside and dedicating it to myself and to this, what we're doing is very important for me. So, saying no was just an act of self love. And if I get rejected for it, then so be it. They maybe are not meant to be in my life
Yeah.
because, you have to respect people's boundaries. And that's how you find out who really cares about you, who respects your boundaries.
I agree. I agree. It's interesting you mentioned something just now when it comes on to you when you're actually in your previous job as a hairdresser,
Hmm.
and because you're always saying yes to someone or to these clients, right?
Yeah.
They expect you to always say yes because they've never said
Yeah.
no. So you're
Every
so
time.
indirectly we are creating a bad habit for them, which is a bad habit for us. So
Hmm.
sometimes they'll wait and last minute, and I say last minute just generally, because we're always saying yes, yes, yes. They don't even stop to understand that they're pursuers of a life as well. They need time to actually plan things out. So we kind of had to the fluid to the fire of making this really worse.
Yeah,
One
you're
better word
so
there.
right.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's important to really, as you said, setting the boundaries, right, and then sticking to the boundaries. If they for some reason feel some way about you setting the boundaries, it's okay. You have to focus on what's most important to you, and sometimes it's okay to be selfish. It's okay sometimes. Yeah.
It is. It's okay a lot of times. I think we've put a bad stigma around the word selfish. I actually I am an ex people pleaser, an ex people pleaser. I used to say yes all the time. And
Congrats.
I realized, thank you. I realized that selfish is it's all a lie. There's no such thing as being selfish. If you are doing something for yourself, if you're doing something in your best interest, that is caring about yourself, loving yourself, taking care of you. Like if you don't take care of you, then you're not teaching people how to treat you, and you aren't, really showing up the best version of yourself for other people. You know what I mean? Um, I did want to, before we run out of time, tell a story.
Sure, go,
Hopefully,
go
hopefully
ahead,
this
go ahead.
friend doesn't. Actually, it's okay if she sees this because she's gonna laugh. But pretty much, this brought up a memory. I have a friend
Mhm.
who I because I was working on this. Then
Mhm.
she would ask me to pick her up from the airport at the last minute, like right
Yeah.
before her flight in. She'd be like, "Hey, can you pick me up from the airport?" And I'm looking at the time. I'm like, "In 2 hours? Like, why didn't you ask me like when you booked the flight? Did you not plan this out ahead of time?" So I'm like, man, now I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta drive 40 minutes to the airport. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna say yes. So I said yes. And then she
Mhm.
did it again the next time. And I was like, okay, see, what we're not gonna do is make this a habit. I cannot make this a bad habit. Like you said with my old clients, like really enforcing that bad habit. And what she ended up telling me was she didn't even realize that I had a problem with it. So that's why she asked me again.
Yep.
So when I nipped it in the bud,
But
then
yep.
yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you had a problem with it." And I was like, "It's not a problem. It's just this is what I would prefer. And if
Yeah.
you're not going to give me at least a 24-hour notice, then the answer is no. I'm just going to put it out there now." So the next time I don't know if she forgot or something, but it was last minute. I said no. And I was like, either she's going to hate me or she's going to learn my boundaries.
Yeah.
And she doesn't hate me. We're still friends. She knows my boundaries and we still talk about it. She'll ask me in advance and be like, "I'm giving you 2 days notice. Hopefully that's okay." And I'm like, "Yes, it's perfectly fine. I have no problem doing something
Yeah.
for my friend." It's just the last minute thing was a no for me. And that was something that the old version of me could never do. I would never have said no, especially if I wasn't doing something. But it's not a matter of if I'm doing something or not. It's that I don't want to. And somebody might say that's selfish. But again, that's not a real thing. Like, if I am enjoying my time on my couch and I don't want to get up, then that is me taking care of myself. What do you think?
Yeah. That's really really true when you bring it where there's no such thing as selfish because you must really put yourself first. And then going back to the story you share with you talking up, right? And you nipping in the bud. Your friend was able to really understand that, okay, come in advance,
Mhm.
plan in advance. I'm not always gonna be right here waiting on you. And I hope that people who are watching right now, they can see that use that story. If they're
Mhm.
having a challenge in actually setting boundaries, they can really and truly, stop, right? Speak to that friend and say XYZ. And if they're truly your friend, they will still be your friend. If they're not, it's okay. They'll come off the train and you continue the train and you'll find someone else who's really truly your friend. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's okay to say no.
It is. It is okay. And it's not only okay, it's very important. So, yeah, I think, is that the full question? Because I know there was two parts. So it was, what was it again? Let's hear it one more
But
time.
what is it? Wow,
let's let's take one more
hold on.
look.
The importance of saying no and why
Mm.
is it so hard?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
covered
yeah.
both. We
So
covered both.
yeah,
So tell us what you think below.
yeah.
Please give us some feedback on what do you think about our answers. If you don't agree, like, I know that me saying selfish is not real. I mean, that is my controversial opinion. And I am open to hearing your thoughts about that if you disagree. But if you do agree, then let me know down below. I'd love to hear.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm. So,
yes. We're about time. We're at that time. We should keep it very short and nice. So
yeah.
we're saying bye for today, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yep. See you next
Cheers.
time. Bye.
Yeah.